Hello everyone, welcome to the LisaBug Fitness and Yoga Short and Sweet series. Today I have for you my top daily stretches, and these stretches can be done first thing in the morning just to get you going. They can be done in the evening just before bed to bring you down and to relax, or through the day if you need a break at your computer just to open everything out and lengthen up any stiffness you've developed through the day. So I have a chair. Let's come on down and have a seat. I have no props with me today, but you may have a yoga strap or a yoga block that you'd like to use also to accentuate some of these stretches today. Let's sit forward on the front edge of the seat with a nice long spine. And before we begin, just check in with your body. We come to this place a little differently each and every day with different spots in our body that are a little extra tight. So just notice anything about your body today and in this moment. And then we'll start with taking a nice deep breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up, really stretch and lengthen. Exhale and take a side bend over to the right side, bringing your right hand to the edge of your chair or to the leg, and take a nice stretch side. And we're keeping this left sitting bone pressed into the seat of the chair and really opening up through the waistline and the lat muscles. And we breathe there right into the rib cage. Let's come on back up. And breathe in again, stretch up, lengthen. Breathe out, dropping that left arm down. Guide yourself down the leg of the chair for a little bit of support. Or just bring this hand to your thigh or to your hip. Opening up the right side rib cage. And inhale, come back up. And exhale, down. Now breathe in, take that left arm forward. Breathe out and open it out to the back of your chair. Look back behind you. And then bring it back to the front and place it across the opposite knee, rotating to look over your right shoulder. And you might be able to reach behind you with that right hand to the back of your chair to help accentuate this twist with a nice long spine. And then come back to the front, relaxing that twist. Bring the right arm forward. Inhale, open out, looking behind you. Exhale and twist the opposite direction, taking that hand across the knee. Reaching behind with the left hand. Look way over that left shoulder. And then come back to center. Now these stretches can be done more than once. Certainly you can pause the video and repeat some of these stretches if those are ones you really need today. Let's take a nice chest expansion. Inhale, open, pull those shoulders back, expand through the chest. Then as you exhale, cross the right wrist on top of the left and turn your palms to face each other. Interlace your fingers and push your knuckles forward, separating your shoulder blades. Drop your chin right down to your chest. And breathe into the upper back, that space right between the shoulder blades. Then bring the head back to center. Separate the hands. Inhale, open back out. Exhale, crossing the left wrist on top of the right. Turn your fingertips to face one another. Clasp the hands. Press the knuckles forward. Drop the chin. Relax your neck and upper trap muscles. Bring your head back up to neutral. Open back out. Inhale. Exhale, right arm on top of left again. This time we'll take that left hand and hold the outside of your upper arm, pulling the arm across your body. You can also take the lower arm or wrap the crook of your elbow right here. Pull that arm in gently and look to the right. Now, if you'd like to take this a little deeper into eagle arms, this underneath elbow can come a little bit more over that upper arm as we wrap the palms of the hands to face each other. Continue to pull that right arm across the body, Look over the right shoulder, 2 more breaths. Feeling that stretch in the upper back. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Core is active. Then bring your head back to neutral, the elbows back to neutral. Inhale, expand. Exhale, cross the left arm on top of the right. We can pull in that upper arm, lower arm, or bring the crease of the elbow to pull back. Look to the left. Now this shoulder wants to hike up, so press it down. Or maybe wrap into eagle, tucking that elbow a little bit closer, wrapping through the fingertips. And notice what you feel on this side that might be different from the other direction. And then we'll bring our head back to neutral, unravel the arms, chest expansion one more time. We can hold here. We can bring our hands to our hips and pull our elbows back, or you can interlace your hands behind you and lift your arms up into a nice chest expansion. Wonderful stretch. One more breath. And exhale and release. Excellent. All right, bring your feet a little closer together. Take your right knee and hug it right up into your chest. Try not to hunch forward, but stay lifted with your spine. And we'll take that right foot and flex and point the ankle. So this is a nice dynamic stretch for the Achilles tendon, lower into the calf muscle, working through a nice range of motion. And then circle that ankle slowly, 2 or 3 times each direction. And then reverse. Then we'll flex that foot and hold it flexed. Bring that ankle to place across the opposite thigh, and then gently press your knee down. This brings us into our seated pigeon or seated figure 4 stretch. On an inhale, lengthen the spine up. Exhale and sink your chest over the legs any amount. You're going to feel this nice stretch in the outside of the hip, the deep external rotator of the hip. This is great if you have any problems with sciatic nerve issues. It really stretches out the piriformis muscle. And let's inhale, come back up. And exhale, we'll set that foot back down to the floor. Hug the left knee right up into the chest. This gives your glute a little stretch. We'll flex and point. It's also a nice little stretch for the lower back area as well. It's gentle but effective. And then we'll circle that ankle around and around. You might feel a little bit of snapping and popping in that joint. That's normal. We'll go the other way. And then we'll flex the foot and hold it flexed. Bring that ankle to cross on top of the thigh. Gently press that knee down. Make sure you're not feeling any pain or discomfort in this knee. That's why we keep this foot flexed. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold over that leg. This is interesting. I'm feeling more in my low back on this side. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. And then rise up. And we'll uncross that ankle, setting the foot down. And then separate your knees very wide. Make sure you're sitting toward the edge of the chair. Press your knees open. Your toes are tracking the same direction of your knees. Lengthen your spine. And then use your arms here on your thighs to help guide your chest down any amount. This is a seated version of Happy Baby we see in yoga. You can maybe bring your hands a little closer to the floor, or a yoga block if you have one close by. And then just fold as deeply as you feel comfortable, relaxing through the neck and the shoulders, the upper back, mid back, lower back, and through your hips. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And one more. Then as you come up, use your hands back on your thighs for support and roll yourself, so keep your chin tucked, almost coming up through a cat stretch. Head comes up last. And relax. Let's bring those legs back together. And we'll turn to the side on the chair. You can do this facing forward, but just to demonstrate, I'm going to turn to the side for our seated hamstring stretch. So sitting on the edge of the chair, we'll take the right leg forward and lengthen. I'm pulling my toes up, using my hands to support on the bent knee. Lengthen the spine. Inhale. Exhale, lead with the chest, not with the head coming down. So stay nice and neutral and fold over that leg. Now we can also do this hamstring stretch standing. So you can remain as you are if you'd like, or come on up with me. I'm going to stand from behind the back of the chair and extend the right leg out to the top of the chair. Again, the foot is flexed, so this is the same position, but standing rather than seated. We'll breathe in to lengthen and breathe out and fold over that leg any amount. Now my word of caution here, where to support. Try not to push on your knee. I don't want you to lock out this joint. So maybe come down, fingertips on the chair. And if that's a little too difficult for you in this position, maybe the seated stretch is better for you right now, so you can support on that bent knee when you're in a seated position. All right, let's inhale, coming back up. If you're seated and you want to stay there, great. For the other side, we'll extend the left leg forward. Square off the hips, lengthen the spine. We want to be sure not to come over with a rounded back. So start to hinge right from the hip crease. As you come forward, lead with the belly and the chest. So it's not really important that we get our nose down toward our knee here, because that's just going to round our back and bring us out of good posture. And a little tiny micro bend in that knee is best. We're feeling the lengthening from the sitting bone all the way down the back of that hamstring. With the toes pulled up, we may feel it in our calf muscle as well. Let's take one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then rising back up. Now, if you're seated, come back over with me to a standing position as we use our chair for a modified downward facing dog. So we'll take a nice big breath in, stretch up, and then exhale, bringing your hands to the top of your chair, about shoulders distance apart. Begin to walk your feet back behind you, keeping your heels down on the ground. Sink down into those shoulders and stretch through the upper back. Now make sure your chair is anchored so you don't push it and slide it out in front of you and lose your balance. And then just breathe right into the upper back, into that rib cage. 2 more breaths. And then we'll come back up, walking the feet in just a little bit. We'll hold a forward fold here. So softening those knees a little bit, you can keep your hands on your chair as you guide yourself down into a forward bend. Your knees can bend a little bit here, that's okay. Or perhaps reaching the fingertips down a little closer to the floor, or crossing the hands to opposite elbows for ragdoll pose. And really release any tension from the base of your spine to the crown of your head, and from the base of your spine back behind the legs, all the way into the feet. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath, maybe sinking a little bit deeper. Then release those hands. And again, we'll curve the spine, restacking 1 vertebra at a time from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Roll the shoulders up and back, lifting the heart center. Very nice. Let's come back to the chair, and I'm going to sit on the chair sideways onto the inside leg hip, which is my left leg here, and then take the right leg, which is off the edge, and send it way back behind me. So what I want to do is get this knee back behind the hip so I can open up the right hip flexor. Square those hips forward. Now I have my toes tucked under, but if that bothers your feet, maybe you have a little arthritis in your toes or a bunion, something like that, you can take your feet and turn the top of your feet to the mat and actually stretch the top of your arch. Let's add to this by taking the right arm, if you're stretching the right leg behind you, inhale, reach it up. Exhale and side bend toward the back of your chair to really open up that hip flexor. Such a wonderful stretch. And we'll take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale to pull yourself up. And release that arm down. Good, let's move to the other side. So slide that leg in, turn to face the opposite direction. Make sure your hip of the supporting leg is fully on that chair so you have your balance. Take the opposite leg straight back, way back behind you. Square the hips. Notice whether tucked under toes is going to work for you. If not, then push a pointed foot to the floor. I actually kind of like that stretch for the top of my arch. And we'll sweep the arm up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, side bend over toward the back of the chair. So oftentimes we do this in a yoga class. It's a high crescent lunge, but it's really nice to do this sitting in a chair for a little bit more support. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, rise back up. Lower that arm down. And then draw the back knee in. Pivot yourself back to the front. Now just have a seat on the chair. And then check in one more time. How are you feeling in this moment as compared to the beginning of our stretch segment? And these stretches are just a suggestion for you to do on a daily basis. There are so many more that we can throw into our routine on a daily basis, but in an under a 20-minute segment, we can stretch everything out and feel nice and calm and relaxed. Let's finish with a breath in together. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Press the palms together, draw the thumbs into the heart center. And it is my honor and my pleasure to guide you through this LisaBug short and sweet daily stretch routine. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.